Now, I'm going to show you how to use our Hvac module. This is our Hvac module, and this is model number. I will add this to my project and go to its basic setting page. From here, we can see here are many options. Let's take a look at them one by one. This is our digital temperature sensor. If you connect a digital temperature sensor to the module, then you can click here to read. And we have 3 control modes: standard, complex, and forced cooling. In this tutorial, we just talk about the standard mode. And in here, you have to select the working mode of the Hvac. We have only control and operation. Let's see what is its difference. If you select the Hvac module's working mode to be control and operation, then it means the module can fully control itself and can be controlled directly from our mobile app. And accordingly, in the panel, when you need to do the configuration, you can only select the panel to be controlled. Meaning, if the Hvac module is the working mode is control and operation, and then the panel's HC page must select control. And if you select the Hvac module to be control, meaning the module can only be controlled through a panel, and the mobile app can only control Hvac through the panel. Then, if the panel you select it to be control, select the Hvac module to be control, then the panel must select control and operation. So that is to say, in this working mode, only the Hvac or the panel can be control and operation. Only one of it can be control and operation. So when you select the Hvac to be control and operation, then panel must select control. If you select the Hvac module to be control, then the panel must select control and operation. So only one of them can be control and operation. Now I select my Hvac module to be control and operation. And later, when I use a panel to control this Hvac module, then I must select only control. In here, we can make a remark. For example, if this device control my living room AC, then I make a remark. And from here, I can select the building. We can create the building according to the house structure through our floor and room option. This is Hvac testing. In here, we can test if the working mode, temperature, fan speed can working properly. And this is the mode testing. We can enable the mode testing. This option is usually used when we make the wiring, so we can test if we make the wiring correctly. And this is the terminal control. If in your HVAC module, the AC control doesn't have the dry mode, you can just disable it. Or if you don't want the auto mode, you can also disable it. The eco mode is an energy saving mode. You can enable or disable it. If you don't want the auto fan speed, you can just disable it. In here, you can select the temperature unit. And from here, we can set the temperature range. For example, I want it to start from 16 degrees and end with 30 degrees. So I can change it in here manually. Okay, after this setting, please don't forget to click Save. And because this is a HVAC module, so you need to give it a temperature source, we have to go to our operation setting. Here are the temperature settings. If the temperature you want it to through internal, then you must connect our digital sensor to the HVAC module. You can see. And if you use our temperature sensor, then in the head of the temperature sensor will have a number. It's engraved in here. For example, if it's 13, then you use 13. And if you connect more temperature sensor, you want the average temper, then you can just enable all of them and enter the digital sensor's ID in here. And if you haven't connected the digital sensor to the HVAC module, but in the living room, for example, as I said, this AC is in the living room, have a panel, for example, is our granny display. As the granny display has a built-in temperature sensor, then we can use it as the temperature source. Because the granny display is not from the HVAC, it's an outside module, so we call it external average temperature. Then this granny display subnet ID is 8. Device ID 32. And as granny display only have one temperature sensor, so the temperature sensor channel fixed to be 1. And then click Save. So that's how to set temperature source. It depends on what kind of temperature source you want to use. You can use the digital sensor, then select the internal average temper. And if you use the panel as the temperature source, you can select the external average temperature and enter the subnet ID and device ID, also the channel number. And from here, you can set some delay, the compressor delay, fan delay, and the compressor protection. And if the fan speed, the fan is controlled by our 0 to 10 volts port, then you have to set the voltage accordingly. And from here, you can set the heating protection. Now, after setting, if you don't want all of this and the fan speed is not controlled by the 0 to 10 volts port, then you can just set the temperature source and make the remark, select the working mode, and then click Save. After this, we can go to the granny display. If we want to use our granny display to control it, as we want the granny display to be the temperature source for the Hvac module, we must go to here to enable the broadcast temperature function. And if the temperature is not correct, we can go to here to adjust the temperature. And the broadcast target, you can enable it. The Hvac module, set the target, and then click Save. After this, we can go to the Hvac page of the granny display. Just enable it and make a remark. For example, this is my living room AC and the subnet ID 8, device ID 4. The Hvac number, because our Hvac module can only control one Hvac, so it's fixed to be 1, and then click Save. So now we can use our granny display to control the Hvac now. So that's how to do the programming. And you can see here in the operation model, the operation mode, we have to select it as the Hvac module, because in here we set the control and operation for the Hvac module. So when we go to the panel, we have to select it to be Hvac module. If in here we select it to only control, then the operation mode has to be panel. So please pay attention to this. Let me emphasize one more time. As I select the Hvac to be control and operation, then in the panel I must select it accordingly to use the Hvac module to fully control itself. And if I select the panel to be able to fully control the AC, then I select panel here and then go to the Hvac module and select only control, meaning the panel will be fully control of the Hvac. So that's the difference. Please pay attention. And the reason to do this is, now let me change back. The Hvac module. Okay, so if I select the Hvac module itself to do the control and the operation, and later when I go to the gateway to add functions, especially I select AC, so I can select the AC module directly. But if I select the panel to be fully controlled, meaning select the operation and the control, then I must select panel AC to upload to the cloud, so I can use OnPro to control it. So that's the difference. Okay, you see, I select it to be control and operation, as I mentioned. Then the module can fully control itself and can be controlled directly from our mobile app. That's why in here, I can add the living room AC directly. So that's the difference. And in the operation setting here, I still leave a master and slave function haven't talked about. If I enable this, then it can have a maximum 8 slaves. This function is always applied. Let me set an example. For example, if you have a DLP panel and you have a very big room, let me draw this. This is your living room, for example. This is your living room. Living room, and it's a very big room, and you have like 3 AC, AC1, AC2, AC3, but you just have one panel, and you don't want to control the AC over and over again. You want one panel. For example, this is a panel. You want one panel to control the 3 AC. This is 3 AC. You just need to control one time. For example, you set it to be 20 degree high fan speed. And the heating. Then you don't want to control them 3 times. You can use this master and slave function. Set all the and then enter the other 2 Hvac modules, subnet ID and device ID, and then you only need to use our panel to control this Hvac module. Then other 2 Hvac module will be the same as the main Hvac module. So that's what we call the master and slave function. Okay, that's all about how to use our Hvac module.